Woo! Good morning, my friends. It's still morning. It's good to see you guys. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody is prepared for what we're about to watch, which is the live Kelsey Fitzsimmons hearing. Hopefully, something will finally go her way this time. As you know, Kelsey Fitzsimmons has been she's been shot, she's been charged, she's had her kid taken away from her. She got slapped with a restraining order under what she claims to be false reasons to be have a restraining order put on her. Obviously, you don't even have to have proof to get a restraining order on someone. You could just get one and just make shit up, and if you want to. So we're here to support Kelsey. If you want to support her legal defense, her legal defense fund link is pinned to the top of the chat. She needs all the help she can get. She's getting the best help she possibly can, in my opinion, by having the Terminator Tim Bradle representing her. And we all love our Tim Bradle here. So now, before that starts, we are going to go over something a little bit here. And if I don't get to go over the whole thing now, we will go over it later tonight, because tonight at 6 p.m. I will be doing part 2, the conclusion. Hopefully we get that far. The conclusion of Aiden's Turtle Boy's intervention of Karen Reed that he recorded on Spaces the other night. And so, I think Aiden got a new phone. Either that or he cleaned his lens. But I'm just going to skip right to this, because Aiden, yesterday I was in Billy Bush's chat. People were talking about this intervention, and Billy Bush in Billy Bush's chat. And then Billy Bush said he wanted to invite Aiden to be on the show for today, and he absolutely did that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play that while we wait for Kelsey's hearing to start. Now, got quite a few new memberships here. Toots became a member. Thank you so much. Toots. Laura Arnado became a member as well. Thank you so much. Mandy Nance. Liz88 gifted a membership. Awesome, awesome, awesome. We love when Liz... We love when Liz gifts memberships. Thank you so much. And Maniacal Miss, member for 16 months. Could Kelsey come home today? Let's find out. I doubt it, but let's find out. Let's hope. I really hope so. But while we wait for that, let's watch Aiden on Billy Bush's today.
That sets the table.
Now stop
Turtle
what
Boy,
you're
I think
doing.
Is here, Steve. Yeah.
Stop
Let's
what
get
you're
him on.
doing.
Bring up our guy.
And
there he is.
Billy
there
Bush
he is.
alike.
He's hydrating in the car.
What's
going on?
Not much, Billy. How are you?
I'm good. What made you go? Let's just start with what made you go to air out the dirty laundry on Sunday and go after Karen?
Well, it was like an intervention. We called it the Karen Reed intervention. Like, she needed an intervention because, like, what motivated me to do that was that the McAlberts started a legal defense fund for themselves that raised like over $40,000 in like less than 48 hours. And then Karen Reed, out of nowhere, like the next day, came out with a legal defense fund. Well, I don't know if you call it a defense fund, just a legal fund, because she's not facing any criminal charges. And it raised in 24 hours like less than 4,000. So like we're talking 10 to 1 here. I mean, you're getting beat by the McAlberts 10 to 1. I think that's ground for an intervention. Like we need to have a talking to about what's got us here, because this is not working. Like your marketing strategy right now isn't working.
Well, let me ask you quick. I mean, do you get the sense, since you have your finger on the pulse of what's going on, do you get the sense that there is some type of new life for the McAlberts, who we all, I think most people in the area believe are guilty or certainly not innocent from that evening?
Yeah, I mean that's Turtle Boy derangement syndrome money. Like that's all that is. That's just like pure dislike of both me and Karen Reed. That's where all that money's coming from. And people have
And
been.
is that a large population in the area? How many percent? What's the percentage of people do you think that are so sick of you and her and hate the two of you that they want to give money to the McAlberts? Because giving,
Well, it's not just a local thing. This is a national story. So like
right. And the thing is Aiden's right. Like you kind of have to be in the mix a little bit, Billy, to really get it. And I get where he's coming from. I'm not trying to criticize Billy Bush here. I'm saying you kind of got to really understand it. You really have to get the vibe of what's going on in social media. You have to get a real vibe of what's happening on Twitter. You have to get a real vibe of what's happening here on YouTube. It just is what it is. No, there's no like actual real support for the McAlberts. Like there's no real support for them. If there was real support for the McAlberts and if people truly believe them, they would have raised way more money than they have. Because they would feel like the country would feel like, well, a woman got away with murder. And now everybody's trying to pin it on these people. That sucks, blah, blah, blah. No, nobody feels that way. People are like, oh, the majority of people are thinking, okay, well, we're the real killers are still out there. So let's get them locked up. Let's do what we can to get them locked up.
if people ever, I would say 15% of the population, maybe, 50, like, maybe 20 on a good day.
Right.
But you got some people giving $1,500 here, $1,000 here, this and that. And so they're like, it's just a big F you to me and Karen. That's all that is. But it's a free country.
And the biggest donors are absolutely Turtle Boy haters. Like that's the fact.
Donate to whatever they want. But I guess my point was that like that should be a wake-up call to Karen. If you're getting outraised by the McAlberts and like, it's just not there anymore. The buzz with you isn't there anymore. And we just needed to go over like how we got here. Like, because back in the day, there was no problem. Like you could raise.
Sorry to keep interrupting both Billy and Aiden here, but people are saying that Bukkake, Sergeant Yuri Buchanan, is promoting the McAlberts Fund. And if he's doing that, according to the mighty one, Mark Betterow, that's illegal. And Mark Betterow has tweeted that if you get proof, solid proof, okay, don't be wasting time with rumors, please. Don't be flooding Tim Bradle with emails. And don't be flooding the mighty one with emails of rumors. Make sure that you have solid proof that they have been actively promoting this. And if you have proof of this, send it to the mighty one and send it to the Terminator so that they can do whatever they can with it.
She raised $1.1 million, and we need to go over the steps that got us here and maybe reevaluate some things that we're doing.
Okay. This is what's tragic. There shouldn't be a rift between the two of you at all. Do you guys? You make look. You said you've destroyed your reputation because of your hatred for me. You can't fucking get over it. You got Turtle Boy derangement syndrome. Are you not naive, blind, stupid? Would it be? What is it? What is it that you want from her? How do you want her to behave? Other than, would you like her to just kiss the ring and say, I would never have been able to do this without you, Lord Turtle Boy. I am here. I am your disciple.
Now, this is awesome because Billy Bush is truly neutral and he's also a real journalist. And so for him to be up here asking the questions that most people wouldn't ask, most people who support Turtle Boy wouldn't ask. I mean, that's stuff I would ask him in private. You know what I mean? But I'm not a journalist. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a journalist. I'm not going to sit up here and be like, tell me, Aiden, do you think, I mean, is that all you want? Is you just want Karen Reed to just kiss the ring and bow down and finally admit that she could have never done any of this without you? Is that what you want? What are you looking for here? I'm not going to do that. I'm not a journalist. You know, that's private conversation stuff. But this guy is asking those questions because people want to know.
Thank you for everything you have done. Or, hey, everybody, I want to actively say, give money right now to the Turtle Boy Defense Fund because he's got, you know, a mountain he's facing, 90 years in jail, maybe. What is it you want from her?
I don't want anything from her. I mean, I don't need it. I don't need.
It doesn't sound like it. Sounds like you do want. You're pissed.
Oh no, that you misunderstand the point of the stream. But it was an intervention stream. It was like telling Karen, like you need to wake up. So, nobody is telling you what you need to hear right now.
And I think what Billy's thinking is like, well, you sounded pretty pissed on the stream, but he was. I feel like when he was focused on Karen, at least what I heard so far is. He's just okay. Like this, you need to hear this shit. This is what everyone's thinking. This is what I'm thinking. You need to hear this shit. When he got nasty was with the callers who are just plain willfully ignorant, which I like to call retarded. And this was one person after the other. And I could see getting pissed and annoyed at people like that. That's what I caught out of it anyway. But I didn't think that he was angry at Karen Reed. And I don't get that vibe at all.
And that's ever since your acquittal, you've made a series of bad choices that have led to the place where the McAlberts are out raising you 10-1. And no one, I don't know if no one.
And that's the thing is I'm not mad at Karen Reed. I don't get the impression, even in private, that Aiden is mad at Karen Reed. I think what she did sucks. I think how she's treated the community sucks. But that shit's been addressed. We addressed it. It happened. She's done nothing to remedy the situation. You know, I mean, but that's not something for me to hang feelings on. That's just, okay, I see what it is. You know? And the thing is like, he wouldn't have done an intervention stream unless he was rooting for her. Unless he was like, yo, like, you are dropping the ball. You can win here. We can all win. Everybody who wants justice for Boston Police Officer John O'Keefe can win here. We want that for you.
Inner circles telling you this, or if you're just ignoring the good advice, but you need to hear it. And I think a lot of people agree. I mean, she has basically declared war on me. And, you know, because of a personal feud between her and I.
I haven't heard her say a thing. I'd like to, who on radio?
You must not.
Oh, I love that. I haven't heard anything. Well, that's because, you know, you're involved in many other things, but you don't understand that what Karen Reed does is she uses intermediaries to communicate for her. And that has happened. You've got your Nick Roccos. You've got your JF Bums. You've got your James Pinkman Jacksons. I mean, it goes on and on. A lot of people out there willing to do anything they can for her just so they could feel involved, just so they could think, oh, Karen Reed thinks I'm somebody enough to go out and spread her shit. That's what's going on. That's how that works. That's the reality of it. And that's also a possibility too.
Watch what we call JFK Hood Booker Talk Radio. There's this a YouTube channel called JFK Show that she went on and just started trashing me and other YouTube content creators who raised substantial amounts of money for her, and has basically told us I don't need you anymore. Like I'm the king. And she told me on the phone when I talked to her last, she told me that You know, I made you who you are. You're nothing without me. You know, you want me to thank you. How about you thank me for once? I made you. I gave you this story. And so it's just like, and last time I was on your show, you know, like you asked me, like, are you guys friends? And I'm like, I'm not going to lie. I'm like, I don't know. We're not friends. I covered her story, you know, and that's it. And she didn't like that. And it was just like, and I haven't heard from her since. So this was like, a personal thing between her and I that should have remained private. And she chose to go on various YouTube streams and just trash me. And I didn't really say a word back, but people saw it. And people saw it, and I have, you know, a lot of supporters, and people saw that, and they didn't appreciate the way what she was saying, and that was kind of the whole point of the stream. Is like, this is why.
Now, this is tough because Billy is thinking right now, well, what YouTube streams has she gone on? Because the truth is that she hasn't gone on any YouTube streams. Like, he's assuming like on a panel as a guest being interviewed, and she's throwing attacks at Aiden. And Billy's not understanding exactly how this works. Billy is a TV personality who now has a YouTube channel, and he still just doesn't understand the different monster that YouTube is. Now, he understands what he needs to understand about it to make his YouTube channel work. Sure. But he doesn't understand the depths of what exists near the surface of near the bottom of the ocean. All that life. He doesn't understand the breeds of suckerfish and sharks that are in the very ocean that he's very near the surface of. And good. I hope he remains, you know, an innocent child in all of this. I really do. But Billy's thinking of it in terms of that when Aiden words it like, oh, well, she's going on various YouTube channels and trashing me. No, what she's doing is she's going into people's chats and saying things, and then everybody's like, oh my God, Carrie's in the chat. And the other reason why Billy Bush has no idea what Aiden's talking about and is going to be completely lost at that wording is because of the chat that she went into, which was a chat that he's never going to give a fuck about. Billy Bush is never going to know about or give a fuck about. Nobody gives a fuck about JF Bum. Nobody gives a fuck about a 6-string channel. That's why Aiden called them a 6-string channel. They're fucking... They're fakes. They're phonies. They're just trying to be something they're not. People who dress like they have juice, but they don't have juice. You know what I'm saying? Dressing like you got juice doesn't give you juice. You know what I'm saying? Like, your drip doesn't give you juice. If you got juice, you give your juice gives you give your drip juice, dude. I'm a 50-year-old man wearing a fucking Batman shirt, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm a 50-year-old man wearing a Batman shirt. How many 50-year-old men can get away with that shit? You know what I'm saying? I do that shit proudly. You know? Your drip does not give you juice, homie. You give your drip juice. If you have it. You can walk around dressed like a goddamn fucking Thanksgiving turkey. But that don't mean that as soon as you cut it open, it's going to be just like the one in Christmas Vacation that just goes all dry and everybody like, that's what that shit is.
You're not getting, this is why you're losing 10-1 in the McAlberts, is because, like, don't go on a stream and trash me. That's not good. That's not going to help your cause. Like you said, we should be united. That's what the people want. But, you know, she's hurting herself, in my opinion.
So if you're advising her, or you don't say you're friends, but how does she get out of it? How does she?
Oh, you know what the perfect example of fucking juice is? Jimmy, Auntie Deb. Perfect example of juice. Auntie Deb has all the fucking juice, bro. Auntie Deb can absolutely be like, hey, whatever. Yeah, I'll set my live stream for whatever fucking time I want, and you know what I mean, and I'll get there when I get there, whatever. And everybody just fucking waits, and he knows they'll wait, not because he's an asshole, but because he's got juice. That's all. Jimmy's got juice that 6-stream channels are never going to understand. They're not going to know anything about it. They got no reference. They can't conceive what juice is. Therefore, how could they possibly emit it? All right, folks, we're moving on to the Kelsey thing. I'm hearing stuff in the background here. Hold on. Bro, that shit is crazy. Remember what I was talking about, people? Remember when I was talking about before? This is a local news station. NBC 10. It's an NBC 10. It is an NBC affiliate, folks. And they have 24 people watching. I have almost 500 people watching me stream them. Mainstream media has lost their juice. Now, Melanie Little probably has 3, 4, 5, 6 times as many as I have in here. Mainstream media has lost their juice. Because you know why? They got people like Sue O'Connell running around speaking for them. You know what I mean? Representing them. You got people like Sue O'Connell running around like, I should say it like this. NBC 10 has people running around wearing people like Sue O'Connell as drip. That ain't a good look. That ain't a good look. He's got a Kango.
But they're not. I just talked to the sound manager. They're not. They're just feeding it back to the station.
For other stations
For
to
other stations.
stream it to
Right,
live.
right.
Okay.
We are not streaming it live. We are just feeding it back.
Okay.
Well, what you're hearing right now is just a hot mic. People just chattering in there. Hopefully the mics are you know, the amplification in this courtroom is a little bit better. It's a different county than Dedham. So Wait, so is there a are you saying there's a Krusty Panties hearing at 2? Is that what you guys are saying in the chat? Ooh, well then. Well, that's not going to be televised, obviously, or streamed. I'm going to try to get a. I'm going to try my best to get a Zoom link for that, if possible. And Baker's streaming it, right on. If Baker's streaming it, cool. Fantastic. But I mean, if I'm still live when it happens and it's going on, I'm going to stream it. And if I can. But of course, if I can't, you know.
Session be seated, quiet in the court. Calling number 22 on the list, Commonwealth versus Kelsey Fitzsimmons, docket number 2577, Geoffrey 11. Counsel, please identify themselves.
There she is.
Kelsey might be permitted to join us. Ms. Fitzsimmons might be permitted to join us at the council table.
No, I only do that for a change of plea, a trial, or an evidentiary motion to suppress, and I don't see why I should treat her any differently from anybody else. So the answer is she's here at your request, but no, I'm not going to let her sit in council table. Otherwise, I have to allow that for everyone, and it presents a security concern. So if I do it for one person, I have to be consistent.
All right, if I need some time with our judge, I'm just going to have to ask for it.
Well, sure, of course you can. You can go talk to her as much as you'd like. Okay, so.
Okay, that's cool.
This is on for trial assignment today.
That seemed like a fair decision from the judge.
Conference that we had back in October.
Sorry about the volume, guys. This is the best I can do.
So let's do that.
So, Judge, a couple of things on that. We think that's a little premature for several reasons. I have 3 outstanding discovery motions that we ought to talk about today, if that's all right with the court, that sort of are, stepping stones to getting ready for trial.
Have you filed?
Yes.
Okay. Let me see.
So 2 of them were filed on August 26th,
Okay.
and
It's nice to see her up on her feet, though.
and I'm certainly happy to give counsel some leeway. This was filed, I believe, last week, November 21st. And so if counsel needs more time on that one, I certainly don't have a problem with it. And I will grant you, I'll acknowledge, Judge, that Kamal's given me a pretty fair amount of information that we're going through. But as you can imagine, and as I know you know, that sort of begs further questions about more discovery.
Well, I have one motion here for specific discovery.
Well, Judge, we filed 2 motions on August 26th,
Okay.
and I have copies of them here.
And what are they entitled?
There's a motion for court order
That's better.
Pretty well be in compliance with some of that or most of it.
Oh, come on. Fix that shit. Wow.
Those are really the first ones, Judge.
What is that?
There we go.
Sorry.
Okay. The camera is allowed in the courtroom, but it has to be silent, no exceptions. Thank you.
Yikes.
The first one is the motion for exculpatory discovery, and that is.
I didn't know the court could hear
essentially
that.
a Graham McFarland request regarding certifications by the officers, whether there's any prior incidents. And that is a predicate to a Rule 17 for that, so that we have a good faith basis, if any, to file a Rule 17 for any further information. And my brother's telling me that that's fully complied with.
Okay?
And I'll defer to him on that.
Okay.
No, I think I complied with my obligations under Rule 4.
Okay.
As far as that first motion, there are things in there that in the first motion that I do not agree to.
Okay.
And we can go through them if we'd like, but other than that, we have a list of questions that we ask every potential witness, police officer.
Right.
Database, but that has all been complied with.
Okay.
But if he wants to talk about the first motion, I'm happy to do that. No action has been taken on it.
Which, when you say first, I've got three motions here.
Motion for exculpatory evidence,
Okay.
exculpatory discovery.
So that's essentially what we're talking about, Judge, the Graham McFarland request. And, you know, it's also obviously a Brady request as well. So I think it's more than just, you know, Graham McFarland. It's any exculpatory evidence that's known to the Commonwealth, whether it's the Commonwealth prosecution team or
Well-
the police team as well.
So, Mr. Gubitosi, the motion for exculpatory discovery,
Yes.
what is it that you object to in
I
there?
object to number 1C,
Okay?
number 1D, number 1H, I,
Okay, hold on.
and J.
C,
Well, nobody can sit with their lawyer. He's just,
D, H,
he's saying he can refer to her in private whenever he can, whenever he needs to.
and J.
And then that's on number 1.
Right.
Number 2, he wants me to certify in writing that I have made.
Thank you, Lola, the good dog.
Office for all items and information critical to the defense. I don't think I have an obligation to do that.
Right.
We did that on every single case. We do have a database. We do have a process. We do ask each individual officer these questions, but we do that on every single case
Right.
in the county. That's thousands of cases to some 80-some-odd prosecutors
Right.
every day.
Well, and it doesn't include all of the prosecutors that have passed through the office, that have come and gone over the course of the years. Are you suggesting, Mr. Bradel, that the Commonwealth needs to contact each and every prosecutor that has ever worked in the district attorney's office throughout the officer's tenure?
No, Judge, I'm not.
Well, that's what the motion asks for.
No, it doesn't, Judge. It asks them to have, maybe they could use a computer database. Maybe they can log, just like, you know, lawyers have record-keeping responsibilities. Lawyers have conflict checks. There's all sorts of things that are precedent for this kind of a thing. When a prosecutor has a case where some questionable police activity has arisen, prosecutors can easily document that in this case, Officer Jones was found to be not credible by Judge Smith.
Well, I understand that, but
locked.
let me start with I.
Right.
Whether the officer has signed a search warrant, I probably see 2 Frank's hearing requests a month in this session, 2 or 3. Most of them are not allowed. Occasionally they are. And just because there is a Frank's hearing does not mean that there was a finding that anyone gave any false information.
Sure.
So how would anyone determine that?
Well, Judge, again, these are record-keeping requests. And
But who keeps a database of that
so
for the last 10 years?
when you're a prosecutor in a district attorney's office and you finish a case, you're required to follow office procedures to close out the file.
Right.
And there's no reason why a prosecutor's office ought to exercise willful blindness about these issues.
So you feel that it's up to you to decide how the district attorney's office conducts its business?
Wow,
It's
dude,
up
this
to me
judge
to
is
Did
a
you work in
fucking
the Essex
ball
County
breaker.
DA's office?
Judge, I did not work in the
Okay,
Essex County
so
DA's office, but I do
from
know a
when,
little
sir,
bit about it.
what are you speaking about when you say that this is how a DA's office ought to be conducting itself? What's the basis for that?
Judge, okay. I don't think it's a obscure proposition, Your Honor, that when a public agency such as the district attorney's office has to close out a case, that they have to comply with record-keeping obligations under the law,
Right.
But
under FOIA, under
Memorializing
all
data.
sorts of things about what happened with the case.
Well, I understand, but Mr. Gubitosi has represented that he's gone back and searched. They have a process. I'm sure that he'll advise you as to what the process is, and if you want to critique the process, that's up to you. But in terms of them producing evidence that is in their possession, custody, and control, he can only produce what he can search for. And the fact that you disagree, maybe you do, with the way in which they keep records or the type of records that they keep is not an issue that I'm going to decide. I don't know of any case law that says that I'm the one, or you for that matter, to decide how the district attorney's office keeps records. And in fact, I'm not going to order anybody to retroactively go back and search records from, I don't know how long the officers who are witnesses in this case have been police officers in this county, but do you know, Mr. Gubitosi, off the top of your head?
I know one of them is 20-something years.
Yeah, so I'm not sure that I can ask
This
them
is
to
some
search records they don't have.
shit right here.
But there is a,
Can you
whether
see if
the
there are
officer
those
has ever
records?
attended or presented at a law enforcement training by the private vendor.
Judge, before we jump off of that one,
Yeah,
all the Commonwealth has to do is ask the officers. There's 4 officers that were.
Right.
They can ask 4 officers, were you ever involved in a Franks hearing? There are ways to do
Easy.
this. We don't have to act like this is some obscure thing, Your Honor. This is
Get
exculpatory
'em.
evidence. We have every right to all of these things under Graham McFarland and under Brady. Kyle,
what
you-
case says you have a right to find out whether any police officer on any case has ever refused to
No,
answer
she has a right to
a police officer
exculpatory
in our case,
evidence.
Your Honor.
No, in this case.
If that
what is the
provides it-
precedent? You've got to cite, where is the case or statute that says that a police department has to disclose to you or to anyone else when an officer declines to answer questions? There are a
Thank
lot
you,
of
Buttercup.
reasons for that, I can assure you. And I'm not aware of any records that are kept of that, and I can assure you that it would never be admissible under any circumstances.
This judge
So I'm
sucks.
having a hard time with the concept that the DA's office or the police department has to supply you with the fact that an officer 15 years ago declined to answer questions after a shooting at the scene, but 2 days later answered the questions, for example. Happens quite frequently. So
Oh my God.
I am reluctant to say,
This
I
guy's
doubt there's
unreal,
any
bro.
police agency that keeps records like that. I don't know of any. But certainly the district attorney's office doesn't keep records like that.
Your Honor.
If it's evidence,
certainly I'm
then
not
yeah, they
saying
would.
no, but just to put it out there.
Why
on the
wouldn't they?
record, when an officer takes the fifth, so to speak, it's been found that a truthful answer would incriminate them. So
Who-
it's incriminating information.
Who's made that finding? That's an interesting concept because I probably represented thousands of
Oh, this is
officers
just a
at
pissing
interviews.
contest now.
And I yet to have or even hear of someone making a determination that that person had a Fifth Amendment privilege or not. My experience has been that the department offers people a rights form, and if the department has made or ascertained that the person has a self-incrimination right, far be it from a lawyer to question that when the prosecuting or investigating agency is doing that. So again,
It's built into the law of the Fifth Amendment, Your Honor, that you can only take the Fifth Amendment when a truthful answer will incriminate you.
that's assuming you're ordered to And that's assuming that the order also encompasses the nuances presented by the state constitution, which requires transactional immunity to overcome it under Carney versus Springfield. So it's not as simple as you make it sound. But let's get back to the fundamental issue. Does the district attorney's office keep records of any officers that have ever invoked their rights at any proceeding that the district attorney's office is aware of?
No.
Okay. And if, with regard to the police department, Mr. Bradel, I'm not aware of whether they keep records of that or not, but I am certainly familiar with the fact that even if that were true of a particular officer, it certainly is not admissible.
Judge, Rand McFarland has a whole host of things that are not admissible, or an optimistic defense counsel
Right.
might say not yet admissible, but that's not a exclusionary factor, Your Honor. So you can't really go there. And these are all, we don't need to pretend like the officers are in Alaska. They're down the street.
No, I
The
understand.
Commonwealth can ask them all these things.
But does that case say that all records pertaining to an officer, any officer who has ever invoked his or her rights, either under the Fifth Amendment or Article 12, records have to be kept and they have to be disclosed? Does the case address that?
Does not say anything about.
Does the case address whether or not an officer who is the subject of a pending internal affairs investigation unrelated to the matter that is before the court, that those records need to be produced?
Yes.
Okay. And what about whether the officer has ever testified in a motion to suppress, which the motion was allowed because the officer it's pretty broad in terms of violating the defendant's rights, but assuming we could refine it a little bit,
Sure.
does the case say that you must produce that? And who's charged with keeping those records?
Your Honor, Brady says we have to produce that. The Constitution says we have to.
On any motion to suppress that was ever allowed?
If an officer is found to be not credible,
Well, see, we're talking.
Well, hold
about-
on, those are two different things here. The fact that a motion to suppress is allowed does not necessarily mean that an officer was found to have lied or made false statements. There are two different things. People make mistakes. The purpose of the exclusionary rule is to deter police conduct, but not every motion to suppress is allowed because a judge finds that an officer lied. Yes, the motions are allowed because in the court's judgment, for example, a stop was unjustified, but that doesn't mean that the court found that an officer lied.
that's.
In fact,
not
I'd
what
say
we're
most
talking
of the time, that's not the case.
We're not talking about a legal ruling.
In your
about an
courtroom, for
officer's
sure.
conduct. We're talking about when an officer's been found not credible, and that's what we're looking for, Judge.
Well, does your office keep records of decisions by judges saying that officers made false statements or are not credible?
Yes.
Okay,
And so,
Yeah.
and he's being cute, because what he's writing in this motion is much different than what he's saying here.
did you check the database for what I just
Yes,
outlined?
and we asked these officers, and he knows this, we asked these officers a whole host of questions.
Okay.
About whether they have convictions, or admissions to
Sure.
sufficient facts about criminal offenses, and I'll just, adverse credibility findings against them from any court.
Okay.
Pending criminal investigations into your conduct, findings that you have engaged in bias, racial, or
Okay.
profiling, discrimination.
Okay.
of any kind. Findings that you have engaged in untruthfulness or other misconduct implicating credibility.
And have those questions been asked of the witnesses in this case?
Yes.
And have you provided any information that's responsive to those questions?
There's
What's the complaint, Mr. Bradel?
Oh my
Well, that's what I'm
God.
asking, is if it's.
This guy's an
compliant.
asshole.
Just said it was.
Saying it was, and counsel got up and seemed to be wanting to correct me on that, and so here we are.
Okay.
So is it complied with or
Well,
not?
it's on the record. What else do you want?
Wow,
The
dude,
motion
this guy
speaks for itself, Your
sucks.
Honor, and I just want to know what the Commonwealth is objecting to.
Well, Mr.
They gave us a list, and we can go through it.
The list of questions that you asked?
Counsel objected to 2C. Have they ever refused to answer questions citing their constitutional rights? We had a little bit of a debate about that. I think that's, Judge, a firing offense. I believe that assistant attorneys general have been fired for that. I believe officers have been fired for taking the fifth.
Really?
I think it's
In the absence of
exculpatory.
transactional immunity, officers have been fired?
I think it's
You should read
exculpatory.
Carney versus Springfield, and I think you'll find that you're incorrect.
Well, Judge, I think that an officer that
guy
takes the fifth in this case about something else
is a
saying,
ball-breaking
if I answer
prick.
that question, a truthful answer will incriminate me. So
Well-
I think under Graham McFarland, I think that's certainly
The case doesn't say
exculpatory and
it.
discoverable.
The case doesn't say it. I don't agree with you. Carney versus Springfield says otherwise, okay? And
Unbelievable what I'm looking at here.
so, Mr. Gubitosi,
I've never
have
seen
you
anything like
provided a
this in my
list of
life.
the questions that you have asked to the officer, or can you, or will you, provide the list of questions that you ask to defense counsel?
Of course.
Okay. And Mr. Bradel, if the answer to all of those questions is no, and they've asked them, I'm not seeing anything that would indicate otherwise in this case, then you need to examine the questions, and if you feel there's something that wasn't covered, then you can refine your motion. But I am not going to allow, and I don't think I agree with you.
Oh,
you have the law,
I'd be in
that
contempt
whether or not an
10 minutes
officer
ago.
has refused to answer questions, citing constitutional rights is something that you're entitled to. In the immediate aftermath of critical incidents, officers often advantage themselves of the fact that the police department does not have transactional immunity so that they can have an opportunity to speak, sometimes within 24 or 48 hours. Happens all the time. And in fact, officers are often interviewed thoroughly thereafter. So the case does not say that if you refuse to answer questions, it is fireable. In fact, it says quite the contrary. The police department does not have the ability to grant transactional immunity. Only the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, the district attorney's office, or the attorney generals have that ability.
He's going out
to
of his
suggest
way
that
to
a chief of
humiliate
police or commissioner
That's
would
what he's
fire
trying to
someone
do.
for invoking their rights without giving them transactional immunity is incorrect. And so, as to the extent you're asking for that, it's denied. Now,
The next one is D.
yeah,
Whether the officer is subject of a pending internal affairs investigation or any internal affairs investigations into the officer's conduct, whether these have resulted in
Shake it off, Bradel.
sustained findings
Shake it
of
off.
misconduct. I'm not sure why there's an objection there.
Well, the way it reads is different than the way he says it.
Okay.
If there is a sustained finding, absolutely.
sure,
And-
okay.
And there hasn't been in this case.
Okay.
With any of the officers that are involved.
Okay, so that's the answer to that. And as far as
Who the fuck is this
other,
judge?
questions, it seems to me H and I are covered by the questionnaire, but J,
Well, no, if I might just, H and I, if you're gonna deny them, but they're different than what he's saying.
no, I is only, you only need to respond to I if there's been a finding by a judge that there was a misstatement in the search warrant affidavit. Not whether or not defense counsel has filed a Frank's motion, because that happens routinely, and routinely the matters don't even reach an evidentiary hearing. And even if they do, it often doesn't result in a finding that there was any untruthfulness. So yes, if there has been a Frank's finding by a judge that an officer, any of these officers, made false statements in a search warrant affidavit, yes, you've asked about that, and yes, that has to be produced.
Of course.
Okay.
But H, if we can just get back to that. Because we talked about that a little. And if, the way counsel is talking about it, if there's been an adverse finding of credibility, of course we turn that.
Yes.
That's a no-brainer.
Right.
We do that.
But-
But that's not what that said.
No, not every, I am not going to order the production of any motions to suppress that were allowed for any reason. First of all, it's almost impossible to ascertain that. And secondly, how many district courts in this county, Mr. Gubitosi? 7? Well,
Yeah, but you can ask the officer, Your Honor. The
well,
officer is
he
right
has,
there. You can
and if
say-
there, I agree with you. If there was a finding that the officer made a false statement, you're entitled to that. But the fact that an officer thought that he or she had reasonable suspicion to conduct a pat frisk and a judge disagrees does not mean that the officer was found to be untruthful. But yes,
I agree with you. We don't
in the
need-
course
we don't
of,
need to debate it. I agree with you.
okay, so I think we're fine. Now, Jay, you know,
I just have no idea what.
I have no idea what that is.
Okay, and then they can answer that. They don't know about it, they don't know about it. That's the answer. I'm happy with that.
Okay.
Wow. This is
Now-
fucking unreal.
Is there, Mr. Gubitosi, when did you get meeting 35, the motion for specific discovery?
Friday.
Okay. Are you prepared to respond to
I
it?
can try to, Judge.
Okay. Is there anything in there that you object to?
Yes.
Okay, and what is that?
Like, what's his first name? I want to Google this guy.
Again, there are portions of number 2. And the Commonwealth will provide all witness statements.
Okay.
As pursuant to Rule 14.
No, I wouldn't say that, Alan. He sounds like he just needs a fucking enema. Missed his bran muffin this morning.
Number 4A, excuse me, 4, is asking for any and all footage from the North Andover Police Department on June 30th during the time of which Ms. Fitzsimmons was at the station. And we've already talked about that. They asked me a bit ago. They didn't ask me in time, so the footage is gone. But it just doesn't save longer than, I think it was 30 days.
Okay.
Well,
If something doesn't exist, then,
but the last paragraph, the last sentence says, the name and contact information of any officer that interacted or observed Ms. Fitzsimmons at the time.
okay.
Well, she has that information. Who she interacted with on
Right.
November 30th of 2025 at the station, so that's something.
Well,
that-
first of all, maybe I'm missing something, but other than in the interview room, when someone's advised that they're being recorded and you know, they're taped, I'm not sure there's,
No, I think this is, she didn't go to the PD after the event, she went to the hospital.
okay,
For the event, it's my understanding, and this is only from what defense counsel told me.
Yeah.
That she was at the station earlier that day.
oh, okay.
Had done something, I can't remember what,
Well,
during the day.
Was that the station earlier, Mr.
But she
Bradel?
knows who she interacted with.
Okay, is June 10th, June 30th the date of the incident, by the way? Okay. And when was she at the station and for what purpose? What time does the incident happen?
So Your Honor, the incident is, it's in the afternoon of the
Yeah.
30th. And prior to that, Ms. Fitzsimmons was at the North Andover Police Department for a CPR recertification.
I see.
She brought the baby with her.
Okay,
So we wanted the video
Yeah.
from the station. And on August 26th, I think the Commonwealth's going to have an issue with this, okay? On August 26th, we filed these arraignment motions.
Right.
Asking, we put them in abeyance except for some of the more obvious ones like
Right.
preserve notes, preserve video.
sure.
Tell people who are video holders to hold on to the video. That was August 26th. So the
Okay.
Commonwealth was on notice as of August 26th.
Yep,
The video, I am fairly certain, was present and available then, when they were given notice of this motion, and I believe the court allowed those preliminary requests.
well, there are two issues there. First of all, though, when you say August 26th, was that filed in this court
Correct.
when she was arraigned?
Yes.
Okay. And Mr. Gubitosi, do you know, first of all, I don't know, because not that familiar with the North Andover police station, whether or not they even have cameras that would have videoed the presence of the defendant at the station on that day.
They do.
Why
And
is
do you
this
know how
judge
often
looking
those
for
are recorded
excuses
over?
for
Not at the present.
the
time.
cops?
I did, when.
Why is he arguing for the cops?
Back in August?
It was gone, I can't remember.
Okay, okay. So the issue then becomes whether or not the request was made, first issue is whether or not you're confident the video doesn't exist today.
Correct.
Okay. The first question is, I think
see
the
what you did
defense
there.
counsel's entitled to know when the video, how often they tape over. I mean, I hear,
I did tell him that.
right,
When I found out, I just can't remember right now.
but you can,
I can just suggest, Judge, if
Yeah.
I may, I looked at,
Yeah, I know Ferry
Counsel
Raven.
trying
I've
to
already
accommodate,
Googled
so I
him.
Right.
appreciate that.
Like, I'm looking
But
right at
on
his
9/18, counsel told me
career.
that they only had it back to July 5th,
okay. And you made the request on,
26.
right, but that doesn't answer the last question, which is whether or not, at the time you made the request, it still existed or not.
Right.
But
I-
Mr. Gubitosi, that should be easily ascertained.
Absolutely.
Sure,
I
okay.
think if you do the math, it looks like it is, and again, I
Is-
appreciate the Commonwealth's efforts to try to get it, but it looks like on
Yeah,
8/26, if you do the same math, 9/18, it goes back to July 5th, 8/26, you're going to be within the window of.
you may, I don't know, I don't have, every video system that I've ever heard of, I've seen some that go 3 days, 7 days, 30 days, I don't know. But that's easily ascertainable, and Mr. Gubitosi is going to tell you about it, and then you can make of it what
I
you need to
appreciate
make of it.
And there's no motion before the court on
Yeah.
it. I just wanted to
Okay.
bring it up, Your Honor, that it's
Eh.
very important to the defense that we have that
All right.
video.
Anything else we can, in this motion, Mr. Gubitosi, that you object to, that we can address today?
Yes, I think you just have a second.
Please, yeah.
Number 6 is concerning disciplinary records for firefighters that responded to the home address of the defendant or the Mass General Hospital.
And your objection to that is?
So the firefighters are not part of the prosecution team, if they're not in care, custody, control. of the
I mean, you can file a Rule 17 for that, Mr.
Very good, Your Honor, that's perfectly
Bradel. I
fine.
think that's right. What else, Mr. Gubitosi, anything else in this motion?
Yeah, so this is just a motions hearing here. And it's not going well for Bradel, obviously.
Number 9.
Yep.
All statements, including text, emails, voicemails, writings of like the scene or among any civilian witnesses, police or prosecutors. I would just say it's overbroad.
Yeah, Mr. Bradel, how can the Commonwealth produce messages between people who are not, civilian witnesses?
Sure, I understand, Your Honor. The request should be really a little narrower, I suppose, which is whenever there's a police prosecution team member in the conversation,
Well,
then
that's
it
different.
should
I
be
agree.
discoverable. So.
So statements, Mr. Gubitosi, of people who are,
There are statements that
yeah.
I'm obligated to provide in Rule
Yeah.
13, absolutely.
Okay.
I agree with that,
Okay.
but not that.
And just, oh, sorry, good. Go ahead, Counsel.
No, I was moving on.
Just one thing on that before you move on, Your Honor,
Yeah,
is
sure.
that,
Yeah.
it's our view, we viewed on the security video from the scene that officers are texting and calling all over the place at the scene, quite understandably.
Sure.
But we just want the text messages, and we have information that there were communications between the father of the child and the police officers
Ooh.
leading up to serving this warrant.
That's
the
interesting.
Restraining order, rather, serving the restraining
We
order.
want those text
Leading
messages.
up to
Fuck
that.
yeah.
And, there are communications that are between the father and the
Okay.
police that we want,
Yeah, we want those.
which would
any
certainly
of
be
those
statements.
materials that are in the possession, custody, or control of the Commonwealth or the North Andover Police Department need to be produced. I can't, it's a little bit broad in the sense that, if there are people texting that the Commonwealth doesn't know about. it's
I
kind of hard
agree,
for
Judge.
them.
I don't even want to, yeah, I can cut to the chase on that.
Let me
Statements
suggest
that involve the
something
police and prosecution team.
here. I you know, I'm well aware of the fact that there's some discovery issues here, but they don't seem insurmountable to me, and they seem like something that could be worked out. The defendant's in custody. You are and have, as is your right, litigating the issue of her detention. And my solution to that, it's not my decision one way or the other, but it's in front of, it's in front of the SJC. But I feel that this is the type of case that is tried in the district court every day. It's a serious case. All cases are serious, but it's not complicated. And I want to set a trial date sometime early next year, and we'll get another discovery compliance date in a few weeks. Mr. Gubitosi starting a trial December 1st. So maybe in late December, we can have another compliance date if it works for everybody to try to iron these things out, because, you know, it's, she is in custody. I'm cognizant of that. And so my solution, whenever, and we deal with this all the time, we spend sometimes more time dealing with the issues of pretrial conditions and release. And in the time we spend doing that, we could try the case. So this case looks to me, and I could be wrong, that it could be tried in a couple of days. And
Are you fucking kidding me?
she's in custody. So if the case is tried and she's found not guilty, that's the end of it. If the case is tried and she's found guilty, that's a whole other issue. But the fairest thing, it seems to me, is to try the case as promptly as we can. So before your schedules get any more backed up, I want to set a trial date. We can always revisit it, but what about sometime in late January, February?
That's very fair, Your Honor, and I appreciate you saying that. And I wanted to ask maybe the first week of February.
Sure. Mr. Gubitosi, how's that work for you?
I have a murder starting on the 26th of January, so if we can go to...
This guy's setting a trial date already. He's like, fuck all
Okay.
the motions. Let's
Does that
just
work
skip
for you,
all that
Mr.
shit.
Braden? Ms.
Let's go to
Attorney
trial
Copeland?
February,
Caveat
first
that I
thing.
haven't checked with any witnesses.
Of course, of course. And I
have a lot of
this way
thoughts
we
on
have
this.
a
I'll share
target
when
date.
this is done.
Everybody can check with their witnesses. We can find out and iron that problem out now. And if there's somebody who needs an adjustment for a few days, a week, one way or the other, we can work on that. But the longer we wait to do it, the more backed up we get. And again, you know, we're going to prioritize this case. She's in custody. Maybe she will be at that time, maybe not. I don't know. But
Right.
at best, for your client, she's going to be on restrictive conditions, and that's a factor as well. So let's get a trial date now. Let's shoot for that. We'll schedule it for trial on February 9th. I think that's very reasonable. And let's set
I don't
another
think it's so retarded.
discovery compliance date that everybody
We'll
can
talk
live
about
with.
that in a minute.
Sometime in December. Mr. Gubitosi, you expect to be tied up for a couple of weeks?
Yep, I think I can, the week of the 15th, I should be.
Okay.
I was going to ask for maybe the 18th along those lines. I think we're in the same process.
We can do that, sure. We'll do the 18th.
So next hearing, December 18th.
And my purpose that day,
Sorry, Judge, just a calendar issue, I'm sorry.
okay, all right.
Dude, did
18th
Kelsey...
is a tough day, it turns out. Could we do the 19th?
I'll do it
Okay.
if Mr. Gubitosi's available, okay. We'll do it. Now, and I want you to have a conference, which I know you will, to see if you can work these things out or to refine or narrow the motion. And we'll revisit those things that day. I have a Zoom that's coming from a different Norfolk that we have to get to right now. So it's either that or we get together late this afternoon.
Perfectly fine, Your Honor.
Okay.
I think we can resolve much of the rest of it.
Now, as far as your request, the last thing I'm going to cover is your request regarding transportation of the defendant. I allowed it today. I'm going to do it on a date-by-date basis. I mean, if the next date is discovery motions, I don't think that it's necessary to transport her. If you want us to try to do a Zoom, we'll attempt to do it. But the goal here, again, in fairness to the defendant and everyone else, is to get the case tried promptly. So we'll have a hearing that day. I'll try to, or me or someone will iron out all of these issues if we can, and let's keep moving. I don't expect, doesn't sound like you intend to litigate a motion to suppress in this case.
Correct, Your Honor.
So that removes one common obstacle to getting this done. So working with that, I think everybody's being reasonable in terms of time. Why don't you have a further conference, exchange written responses so that there's, down the road, there's no misinterpretation, and let's see each other again in a few weeks. And I'll order a Zoom, Habe, if we can do that. Okay? All right.
I think that'll be fine. If there's any issue, we'll file appropriate papers.
And if you have a narrower motion, or you can narrow the issues, file another motion, and I'll make sure that I get a look at it, or somebody will.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Have a great holiday. All right.
Thank you, same to you.
Okay.
Wow, Kelsey saying she loves her family. I guess
My
she's
boss has
waving.
to tell me that right here. Okay, if she says noon, then we'll do it. Okay.
Welcome to Zoom, government.
All right, so yeah, this is
Enter
new
your
to me.
participant ID followed by pound. You are in the meeting now. There are two.
Okay. So yeah, I have some thoughts on that. So I know I when I was listening to him, I mean, in regards to, well, first off, let me say this dude is he is an insatiable ball breaker. Like, just going after Bradel the way that he did over that one motion, and just it seemed really, really biased. But now I don't know what the hell was going on there. I'm not saying that I'm not even implying that he's corrupt. I'm not even close to even thinking that. I looked up some of his shit here. He's a prosecutor. He's going to be prosecutor friendly. That's all I'm going to take out of that for now, is that it's hard for him to look at things through the perspective of a defense attorney. And he's just used to seeing the defense attorney as his adversary to some degree. I think that's just in his bones. And that seemed to be what was going on there, for lack of any other information to assess that. Now, the trial, setting a trial date for February 1st, and you saw that Bradel was like, okay, cool. Because what we're looking at here, we got to think of the one thing that actually matters here is Kelsey's health, right? We want to get her out of jail. Bradel feels confident that he's going to be able to get her off of these charges. I don't see why he wouldn't be able to. Bradel's case for Kelsey is very, very strong. The only thing that he's had to deal with really are ball breaking judges. Like, let's just keep this, you know what I mean? Like, since the incident in question has taken place, all Kelsey has had to deal with is recovery and the pain from that and ball breaking judges. And this judge seems to be a ball breaker, but he's like, I can't do anything about her incarceration because it's been kicked up to the SJC. But what I can do, and this is the way I was looking at it, what I can do is put a rush on this trial. Like, to me, it's a very, very simple, it's not a complicated case. And as I said before, remember when I first started looking into this case, my whole thing was, this isn't complicated at all. All the facts of the case are pretty simple. The question is the cop lying? Is the mother's, is Kelsey's ex, the father of her kid, did he lie to get the restraining order? These things, and it's going to be more whether or not the cop is lying, who shot her colleague, her partner, her friend. So that's going to be the big question here. And what you also have to keep in mind is the Commonwealth has to prove that Kelsey pointed this gun with the intent to shoot her friend who shot her. Now, I'm sure Bradel is going to lay out a lot of the facts, the situation of the case, what room she was in when this happened, how long it would have taken, so on, so forth. All of these things that they're going to completely and totally paint a broad and detailed picture of the situation during this trial. And I have confidence that this is going to go in Kelsey's favor. But the question of whether or not she could get out of jail is up to the SJC now. That's it. Before trial. Now, this dude is like, if she can't get out of jail, at least we can get her going through trial. And if she's found not guilty, she goes home. And we can get through this trial in a few days. And the truth is, at first, when I reacted when he said we can get through this trial in a few days, I was like, what? But the thing is about that is the facts of the case are not complicated. If you compare the facts of this case to, say, the Karen Reed case, I mean, there is so much more information in the Karen Reed case versus the Kelsey Fitzsimmons case. So much more information. So, I mean, that's where I'm at is the sooner the trial, the better. And especially if Bradel feels like, yeah, that'll work. If that's fine, then that's fine. Let's do it. But yeah, I overall, I mean, you know, the motion that Bradel was asking for, he was asking for something that I could see being interpreted as really broad by a guy who worked in a DA's office, you know, being the judge. I didn't like that he was arguing with Bradel. I didn't like that he was basically humiliating Bradel, or trying to humiliate him. It seemed like he was talking down to him. He was, he was just like, nope. And he was arguing with him. I don't like to see judges argue with the attorneys and argue the law. I don't like to see that. I don't like to see judges. And now if it's a lawyer who's just an asshole who's trying to like exploit shit, I would have loved to have seen Judge Bev fucking destroy Hank Brennan, but we knew that wasn't ever going to happen. But the kind of shit that Hank Brennan was trying to pull, we would have loved to have seen Judge Bev go, what the fuck are you doing in my courtroom? What are you trying to pull here? Which made us all think that Judge Bev was corrupt. But this judge is a dick. Now, I'm not convinced that he's a bad judge yet. I'm not convinced of that yet. I'm on the fence on whether or not he's just a fucking shitty judge. I'm on the fence. But I think that so far, I know that what he's doing makes sense to him, and I understand why it makes sense to him. That's my point. But I'm just not sure I agree. And so and a lot of that is just because I'm just naturally going to root for Bradel, and anybody talking at my boy is going to be the bad guy in my fucking eyes. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm going to, there's a lot more that I want to inquire about this case. I'm definitely invested in it, and I appreciate you guys watching it here. So that means a lot to me. And I'm going to do everything I can to speak up on Kelsey, on Kelsey's behalf, because I think what's happening to her is absolutely wrong. I don't think, you know, I don't think that she belongs in jail. I don't think, I think that she belongs with her child. I think that I think that she should still be a cop, if she wants to be a cop. I think it sucks, everything that's happening to her. Yeah, I mean, it's early. It's early, let's keep an open mind here. You know what I mean? Let's keep an open mind here. And I'm telling you, I think it's a good move. As long as Bradel feels like he could prepare for it in time, I think it's a good move to start to get the wheels rolling on this trial as quick as possible. And since we believe Kelsey is innocent, it shouldn't be difficult for Bradel to prove that, or to show why the Commonwealth at least is failing to prove it, to prove her guilt. So hopefully this trial comes soon, February 1st, and it goes in her favor in just a few days, and she's found not guilty. And then she just gets to go home and get her life moving ahead of her. She can heal and comfort, rehabilitate, physically, I mean, because we know she doesn't need alcoholic rehabilitation. But she can rehabilitate physically in comfort, hopefully, and then move on with whatever fruits life has to offer in the future for her and her daughter. And she's gonna have to. She's got that fight ahead of her too. Yeah, no, I know Jody 617. I know. I do think that the judge leans more towards favoritism for the prosecution, which I don't like. But I also think that he appreciates that Kelsey was a police officer as well, to some degree. I don't think that he's completely dismissed that. I don't think he has some sort of animosity towards Kelsey in this case, or personal feelings against her in this case. I think that if anything, he probably respects that she was a police officer at one point as well, which is why he's saying the best thing for this person is, since I can't do anything about her bail, and letting her go home in the meantime, because that's been kicked up to the SJC. What I can do is I can expedite a trial date. Can't say that I disagree with that. All right, so that's it. December 19th. Looks like December 19th will be the next hearing, and then so far a trial date has been set for February 1st for Kelsey Fitzsimmons. So let me do this. Let's go back to this morning mics thing. Because the thing is, man, I'm going over the rest of Aiden's Karen Reed intervention thing tonight. And but I was starting before this hearing started. I was going over the Kelsey Fitzsimmons. I was going over her before this thing here was the Kelsey Fitzsimmons hearing. I was going over the morning mics thing with Billy Bush, where Aiden was on. So we'll just keep going over that, so I don't have to do that tonight. Because this seems to be, yeah, this is a while. This is a long stream, but at least 30 minutes is Aiden's. Oh shit. Or maybe not. No. Yeah, it's about 20 minutes or so. But we'll go over the rest of that. So I don't have to do it tonight. What's up, Mazza? Yeah, I know, buddy. I know. Make sure to subscribe to Mazza Media because he has excellent Kelsey Fitzsimmons coverage. And he's very, very passionate about her case. And he's just great. He's a great YouTuber.
Oh boy, are complete bullshit, and he has my unconditional support because he supported me during my darkest time. That would go a long way with a lot of people, I think.
Meaning, witness intimidation is not what Turtle Boy is guilty of.
That's correct.
Investigating witnesses. I don't see why she would have a problem saying that, although she probably doesn't know exactly the ins and outs of what you did. But I mean,
she knows all about the ins and outs of her. She's well aware of, about all the charges against me. Her and I used to talk.
The charges. What are they? Does she know everything that Cosgrove has? We don't know that yet, right? Because he hasn't really. You got a hearing on Friday, December 5th, right?
Yeah, we have a motion to dismiss that day and a motion.
But she could say, "I support this man who supported me."
Yeah, that's all it would take. I'm not saying I want that. What I'm saying is that would help her brand. That would help her. That would go along. I think that would get her back in the public good, in my opinion, as opposed.
See, what Aiden's saying is actually pretty simple and clear. He's saying, I don't need Karen Reed anymore. I don't need her to acknowledge me as, I don't need her to say thank you to me. I don't need any of that shit. All I'm saying is not doing so has hurt her brand that she's trying to create and build. It has hurt her brand, and it would help her and go a long way if she were to acknowledge the very people responsible for providing the information to get the public to back her up. And that those very people is pretty much this one person. And then, of course, there's everyone else.
Going on whenever she talks, it's something negative about me, and it just doesn't have to be that way.
This is our politics in America. This is like a microcosmic look at our politics in America, where we live in this world where one thing entirely on one side has to be true, or one thing on how I see it is both things are true. She brought your attention to me and many other people in the national media, this case, but the way you did it and the way you rode that horse is what made it so effective. All those people sitting out there in the pink shirts, they were rallied by you. It took renegade journalism, the kind of which you have the testicular fortitude to present.
Yeah.
To get that there. And Karen's case was so perfect in that it hit the nerve of every woman, every family member that, oh my God, this shit could happen to me. And this corruption in Massachusetts is real and it's happening. You guys, whether you like each other or not, are bedfellows.
100%. We should be. That's what I've always said. We should be.
But I know you guys. You talk to her, right? I mean, that's not just public. I know you guys have private conversations. They must be like heated.
Oh, we haven't talked since last time I came on your show. That was the last time we spoke.
Have you texted with her?
I've attempted a few weeks ago. I sent her a text and I said, "Do you want to squash this?" And it was unreturned. So, it's best I can do.
Does the Bushman have to fly into the Beacon Theater and
you could try? I mean, Melanie Little has tried. Other people have tried playing intervention.
Sorry, Gail Dunnels. I didn't mean to remove your comment. I meant to remove someone else's, which I followed up on and did.
It's just not working. And, I don't think, like I said, I don't think there's any putting the band back together at this point. But like what people want, and the reason that money isn't being raised is that like people sacrifice, they gave a lot of money, $1.1 million, they rally, blah, blah, blah. And they haven't gotten any sort of public statement from her. Like if I were her, I would have put out a video thanking my supporters, everyone who donated, because you can't, okay, all these people came together, they raised all this money, they helped save your life, they kept you out of jail, etc. And in return, they haven't gotten the thank you. And now you're just like, hey, give me some more money. And like that, putting out a fundraiser the other day asking for $500,000 was just so tone deaf. It's like you haven't said not to me, screw me. Everybody else that was out there, a lot of people sacrificed for this, and a lot of people are like, yeah, I don't feel the same way. Like, good luck, best of luck to you, but you're not facing any time in jail, and now you want $500,000. All set. We have other cases that we could rather give our resources to, like Turtle Boys or Kelsey Fitzsimmons case. People that are facing serious time in jail. And it's just bizarre because like it's the same people that tried to put her in jail. Like we should be uniting against these people. That's what they want,
You should be uniting, and I think you will. I honestly think you will. I think there's too much. I mean, this may just be a moment in the arc of your relationship with Karen Reed, which is real. There's no denying that the two of you.
No, I don't think it's fair to say that Billy, at least so far, not to me, but because I haven't listened to all of this. But I don't think it's fair to say that Billy Bush is not neutral. I think he is. And of course, I think that he sees opportunity here. I think he sees, that this would definitely generate some viewership for him to cover whatever's going on between Karen Reed and Turtle Boy. That would be foolish not to on his part. But I also feel that he's genuinely neutral. I don't think he gives a shit either way. But I do think that he wants the McAlberts to be held accountable. I think he absolutely means that when he says that.
Together, you're stronger together than you are apart. I believe in that, and I believe that something has to happen here between the 100%. Two of you, and I think you should. I think you should reach. I don't think that people have turned entirely on Karen Reed. That would be unbelievable. And the money she wants.
They have, and I see people saying in the chat that she has thanked supporters. When did I miss that? Because I saw briefly on the courthouse steps afterwards that she said, "I just want to thank all my supporters, but also none of this would be possible without me. I am the reason for the season."
Do you feel like she's holding cards, like, as far as to what her plans are and what she's doing? And you think she should be just a little more open about, hey, this is where we
you saw that little Ray from Dallas reference right there. Threw him a little accolade. I'm the reason for the season.
We are right now. This is what because she's got a big. You must be supportive of the fact that she has turned and filed her own civil case in the affirmative to go after these people who clearly 100%. We all believe framed her, set her up.
100%. I'm Team Karen Reed still. I'm rooting for her. I want her to win. Take down the McAlberts. Do what you got to do. But the whole purpose of the stream was just kind of explain to her what apparently no one's telling her is like the reason you're losing 10-1 in the fundraising game is because you've made a series of bad choices since your acquittal, and here's how it could be remedied. Here's how it can be fixed.
Right.
So, it's like people saying they support Karen. I support Karen, but people aren't giving their money. And that's the problem.
It's not an attack on Karen. It is the fucking opposite. We want you to beat the McAlberts. We want the McAlberts. We want you to continue your fight for justice for John O'Keefe. We all want that. But we don't want it at the cost of our own self-respect either. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to raise money, do the right thing. But the fact is this is her losing exactly what Turtle Boy just said, is her losing the fundraiser game 10-1 is due to her actions since the acquittal. That's it. That could easily be fixed. but her pride is not allowing her to do it. And this is something that I know for a fact. This is something based on my own personal experiences with Karen Reed since the acquittal. That's based on my own personal experiences. I can assess that and confidently say that it is pure ego and pure stubbornness and pure just, not wanting to budge. Like for the sake of just being stubborn. It's ridiculous.
Like, because there's no, like,
But
people
they've already given so much, right? $1 million. Now she's, but
and they would be inclined to give more if they felt appreciated. I'm telling you, like, that's how
Right,
a lot of people
right.
feel, and I can't, and it's like, whether or not that's validated or not, whether or not is regardless. Like, as a marketing person, you have to look at that and say, well, this is what they want, so you got to give it to them, if or else you're going to get out fundraised by the McAlberts 10-1.
well, overall, the $1 million that they've raised so far, she's blowing them out across the board. I mean, if you look at the latest round, I mean, what she's asking for now, but she's got to pay these people. She's got all these experts that need to come back out. That money goes to pay them, I assume. I mean, you got to pay all these.
That's the other thing. The transparency about it is just like, just give me $500,000. It's like, people are like, what for? Like, what is insurance paying this? Like, last time it was very clear. People wanted
that may be true. Billy's making a good point. That may be true. But the problem with that is it's what the people see. This is about people donating money to support her now. The very same people who already did. Money that they work hard for. So that's about getting them to actually giving them incentive to want to support her even more. And the problem with what Billy Bush is saying is, even though it might be true, that's not what the people see. What the people see is her being chauffeured around in a motorcade practically. And her staying in expensive hotels, and her eating at expensive restaurants, and her buying designer suits and wearing designer suits, a closet full of designer suits on 2020 and Dateline. That's what people see. It's not, the people don't know the reality of everything and don't understand the reality of everything. That, dude, she's going to have to pay back all these fucking lawyers, dude. Like, they're going to bill her. She's going to get billed, most likely. Like, nobody sees that shit, but what the people see is what she shows them. She has to be aware of this and manage it properly. That's all Aiden is trying to say. It's bad PR.
give last time because an innocent woman was facing life in jail, right? We saw it in front of our eyes. We saw that ARCA costs a shitload of money. We saw that all these people need to be paid. We saw that. And now it's just like people are unclear because it's like, are they not working on a contingency? Is insurance not paying for this? People just have questions. And like, it's about being transparent, and people would probably feel a lot more comfortable. And because there was no like announcement from her, like, hey guys, I could really use your support. It was just Nick Rocco posting a link in a Facebook group saying, hey, pony up. And people are like, yeah, I'm all set.
Right.
Well, they've given a lot of money so far. I mean, how many
arrogance? It was the arrogance because it had the air of Nick Rocco posting this and being like, boom, there you are, folks. Let's watch the money roll in. Like that's what it had an air of. Not fucking, yo, listen, like there was no, hey, I understand that this thing has happened and there's been all this drama and blah, blah, blah. Like that fundraiser would have went a long, long way. The announcement of this fundraiser would have went a long, long way if Karen Reed had put out a written statement acknowledging what she's done in the community, or at least acknowledging, like, somehow, at least trying to sell it in some way, saying, I understand that there's been a lot of discourse in the community, blah, 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 but I'm still trying to fight for John O'Keefe and this and that. I could have wrote the shit for her and it would have worked. And I would have been able to even omit any apologies, any admittance of wrongdoing, and still helped get the community behind her better than that. Just some acknowledgement that the community matters to her in some fucking way besides what's in their pockets. But that's not what happened. It was just going to leave this right here. The fuck is that? The fuck is that? The fuck you think of these people?
Many people are there? You're asking for now, it's going to be $1.5 million, but did you feel it? You felt passionate about defending this woman who was framed by, law enforcement and people we should trust. And now this woman wants to go and make them pay and put them on the hook for what actually happened. Do you support that as much? Maybe people feel like
not
we
as
saved
much.
you.
Yeah,
We
not as
saved
much.
you.
Yeah.
You've been acquitted. But now, maybe people are scared of the takedown of the law enforcement structure in Massachusetts. It's overwhelming to see that happen in your community.
Billy, it's because she's not facing time in jail anymore. Like, that's why people donated last time, because they don't want to see an innocent person go to jail. It's just people don't have the same fervor for it. She's freed. We freed Karen Reed, and now I'm facing 90 years in jail because I freed Karen Reed. And people are like, like the general sentiment in the comments was, I'd rather give my money to Turtle Boy right now. And because I'm the one that's facing jail time. And if she had maybe just put out some sort of statement saying that she supported me, I bet you a lot more people would have her back right now.
How much do you need?
Me? I mean, I don't think, like, the bill keeps going up, obviously, because the longer this goes on, the longer they stall. You don't want to know what I've paid. I could buy a whole new, more than my mortgage, that I've paid just in legal fees. And you don't get any of that back when you're acquitted or the charges are dropped, So every dollar helps, goes to the Bettero Fund, because he's a New York attorney. I got to get him, pay to get him up here every time. Obviously pay for his time because it's extremely valuable. So, I don't know how much I'll need. The bill keeps going up.
I mean, is it like a couple? Is it 100? Is it up in the millions area?
Not millions, but we're talking total. When this is all done, I have paid more probably for my legal defense than Karen has for her legal fees. Like, let's just put it that way.
You've spent more of your own money.
Like, what I'm saying is, like,
Bradel and Bettero aren't working pro bono. It's the easiest way to put that.
I believe it's been pretty public. I think she had a flat fee without.
Linda Kenny Bodden is not working pro bono. Let's put it that way too.
Alan and David, I think it was like 200, something like that. Like, we're over that. Let's put it that way.
Look, if she were to say, right now, you've painted her into a corner, right? Karen's a tough, Boston chick. You are a tough Boston man. I mean, you guys should be here in the same section of Foxborough Stadium, beer in hand, going crazy for your team. You've painted her into a corner.
I completely fucking agree. Everyone agrees.
Now she's like a raccoon trapped in a trash can, and you've got a broom. You got to give her a lane to say, I appreciate you, I support you, let's be stronger together. You got to give her an
okay. Poor Billy. I love Billy, but he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about right now. Because that's all that's been happening. She's had the lane. What she did with the lane given was she took it to the JF Bum channel and dropped a nuke and fucked up the whole community and divided it. That's what happened. That lane has been there. We're talking about the route she chose to go, my man. All due respect.
Opening, right? What you did on Sunday, while you felt it from your heart, and that's your brand, and that's why you're good at what you do. She is painted into a corner a little bit.
No, she's not.
And it's gonna, look like, haha, you see, I told you, you were blind, stupid, and naive. And now you capitulated to me. How do you give her a welcome mat?
Well, like,
she's not painted into a corner. She's in the way of a moving train that there is plenty of room on. All she's got to do is jump on. And that'll be the Karen Reed train once she does. The Karen Reed Turtle Boy train.
let's air it out. My proposal is, let's do a show at the Wilbur, me and Karen Reed, where we just hash it all out. Lay it all out on the table. Think we could sell tickets for that. You can say whatever you want about me. You can crap on me, give me, just give it to me. Say the things that annoy me, that annoy you about me, and we hash it all out. We both get paid off it. Everyone would want to watch that.
Think about it. See, this is this is how Turtle Boy's thinking, and I don't fucking blame him. I completely fucking agree. Look at all of this shit. Look at all of this. This is something everyone's talking about. Why shouldn't the two of them capitalize on it? Everyone's talking about the discourse between Aiden and Karen. Everyone's talking about the beef. Why shouldn't they capitalize on it? Why shouldn't they make something out of it? Charge tickets. That shit would sell out the Wilbur. You gonna tell me that wouldn't sell out the Wilbur? Is for them to just work out all of their issues on a stage, record it, and then put it out. Monetize the fuck out of it. Why not? Like, the point Turtle Boy is making overall is there's all these opportunities. There's all these opportunities for you to be able to fund what you need to fund and still live the lifestyle that you want to live. There's all these opportunities to do it, and you're not taking them. That's what the whole intervention was the point of.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I think I should come to keep the peace, and I will donate whatever comes my way to both funds equally, 50% each way, because you guys have a bigger thing on your hand. I listen. I don't think that's a terrible idea. Honestly,
because that way she's not capitulating. That way she's not like kissing the ring. Like, you can let me have it, but let's at least talk. Let's have it.
It's like The Bachelor after the final rose. The guy comes out and she comes out, and it's like, what happened? What went wrong? The one that didn't get chosen, and you have that tension.
Exactly. I mean, it would be great theater. Everyone would want to watch it. You love me, hate me, think she's innocent, guilty. Everyone and their mother would watch that. So let's do it, as opposed to just asking for handouts, which is what is essentially happening now.
I mean, that's right. I mean, I'll be the first to fucking I'll give myself as an example. Like, when I got drama with people, that shit's behind a paywall now. I don't want to do that shit. I don't like that shit. I don't like having drama with people. I don't like having issues with people. I don't like being at odds with people. But then I got to speak up on shit from time to time. And so the way I see it is, why the fuck am I doing that for free? Why the fuck am I doing that for free? Fuck that shit. You want me to do that and you want to be entertained by that shit, I'll make that members only content. Period. Petty streams, members only content now. That's it.
I wonder if she feels like making theater out of it would.
Oh, she
irritate
opposes that. She
prosecutors.
opposes that, right? For sure. Karen Reed hates theater, right? Come on.
Well, I mean, yeah, no, it's a serious. I mean, it's a serious thing. The civil trial the ones that she's put
It was the
forward.
murder trial, and I made a whole lot of theater out of that, didn't I?
You did. Yeah,
Yeah.
but can she be seen doing that? You know, a Turtle Boy Karen coming together. She might see that, you know, that it might send the message that she's making
She
too
did a
light of it.
documentary. She never saw a microphone she didn't like speaking into. Why'd she suddenly get so shy?
You know what, though? It could be, but it shouldn't just be about, you know, a coming together. It should be about where do we go from here? It should be like a smart intellectual discussion about what's happened, where we've been, where we're going. And along the way, the message is obviously clear that the two of you are sitting down, you know, together. So instead of making it about yourselves, it should be about the larger issue and how the two of you see it going forward.
Right. Like instead of instead of going on the JFK show and leaving snarky comments about me, say it to my face in front of people and we'll sell out the Wilbur doing it. Let's go. You can trash me all you want. Let's do it in front of a crowd. Let's go. And then we lay it all out. Like you said, we have a discussion. We have some sort of media. You can mediate it and then let's do it.
How does your wife like think?
I'm divorced.
How dope would it be to have Billy Bush just host that shit? Just mediate that shit. Now, hold on there, Turtle Boy. Now, give her a chance to answer. Karen. Now, Karen, there's no reason to yell. We're all friends here. Sausage at 6, baby. That shit would be fucking fantastic.
Oh, I think you guys are in love.
No, trust me. Her and I were meant to be
think there's
single.
so much sexual tension here. I can't.
Oh my God.
I think you're in love with her. I
do. Billy, you're getting a little cavalier there, my friend.
Bill, no. Her and I were
She's
both meant to
cute.
be single.
She's very cute. She's you know.
No one's
very
going to deny that.
attractive.
No one's going to deny Karen Reed's an attractive woman. I always said that. But her and I
would
were meant
say
to be
hot.
single. You know.
I would even say hot. I mean, you know, very fit. She wears the pantsuit, the power suit. Very intelligent. Obviously worked, you know, very heavily on her own defense, and she, you know, she worked in the investment world. She's the teacher. I think there's something here, man. I think we are gonna do The Bachelor.
Jesus, dude.
The Bachelor Karen
Billy.
Reed. There you go. The
Am I
Bachelor.
wrong? Am I dead wrong here? You don't feel anything for Karen?
It's of course it's not. It's no, you're dead wrong with that. I have absolutely no interest in her like that. But like, you know, I'm not gonna lie and be like she's not attractive. Of course she's attractive. Like everyone can see that, but I'm not interested in her like that at all.
Let's just say this. Let's say it's a better night at the Waterfall or some other bar. Just a good night. None of this stuff had happened. And you're out there going to get your car. And
first of all, Billy is fucking yes, Billy's dead wrong about that. And one of the reasons that Billy doesn't understand is that he's dead wrong about that is because everyone knows that Karen Reed is BLT's girl. BLT will fight you for her, bro. He'll fight you for her. All right? Oh my God.
there she is in the whole thing. And you're underneath
I
the
need to be in
street
attention.
lamp together. Would you make out?
No, I wouldn't make God, no. Come on, Billy. You're gonna get me in trouble.
Billy's a child. I love it.
No, I'm good. I'm good these days. You know?
All right.
I don't think she would either, so we're good. You know.
Let's see where this goes. But I think your next move is Olive Branch. You did what you had to do. You got it out.
Yep. Let's see what happens.
All right.
Anyway,
Turtle
thanks
Boy,
for having me on, Billy.
You're a great man. Unbelievable talent. Thanks, bud.
Likewise. Talk to you later.
Bye. That was fascinating.
Billy's cool.
That was
man.
fascinating. Steve, your thoughts?
Well, at the end there, it was kind of like
see-
setting up a WWF fight or WWE fight. He's like, "This is what we do," and he's getting this side all riled up, this side, and then you're gonna walk in.
He has a promotional. He has a
Yeah.
very. He's a showman. You know what I mean? Like he's a real showman.
That's facts.
And he's got like and don't take this the wrong way, but there's a Trump-esque quality that knows where people are, right? And what they want and
Yeah, dude. The thing about Aiden is that's what you need to look at it for what it is. Okay. He's an independent journalist. He has to sell himself somehow. But the thing is what he does is very, very real. You know, he's not a showman like Hulk Hogan's a showman or like The Rock is a showman. He's a showman the way Conor McGregor's a showman, the way Muhammad Ali was a showman. That's the way Aiden Carney is a showman. He's like, all right, like I'm gonna deliver, but I'm gonna make you have fun watching me do it. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna kick ass, and I'm just gonna make it fun for you to watch me do it. You know, and then when the haters come, that's even more fun. I'm gonna make that even more fun for the people who actually follow me and support me. Like, so yeah, I mean, Billy's right. He's a showman, but he's also the kind of showman that what he's selling is independent journalism.
he's a provocateur. You know what I mean? It's also why he's so effective as a journalist. And he's got, you know, what he did. There is no journal, you know, what he did, you know, for her, on her behalf, can't be denied. It was extraordinarily effective. Extraordinarily effective. And
I think
what she did,
you did get them closer. I think you did bring them, like, I think you got somewhere of like, you went a little far there, Turtle Boy. Maybe you went a little far. You didn't leave any room, and he kind of left some room now. Maybe there's a place.
let me just see something here. Texting something here. Let's see what happens. It's a lot of haters who hate him with a passion. Yeah, he's got haters, but that's, look, the reason why he's effective is that people have an opinion, right? I mean,
in other words, Billy, if you're not saying something that's pissing someone off somewhere, you're not saying anything worth listening to. I firmly believe that with my core.
people who want to appeal to everyone take longer, and no one feels passionately about them. He welcomes the passion. Turtle Boy doesn't give a shit if the comment sections tell him to go fuck himself. He doesn't care. In fact, there's evidence. Remember The View was a boring television show until Rosie O'Donnell arrived. And when Rosie O'Donnell arrived, things got interesting. And she stirred shit up. People didn't like her. She made a lot of controversy, and some people loved her. You know, she was like country music, love it or hate it. There wasn't anything in the middle. And in this case, that's who he is. Look, he wants her. He did say something on that stream. I also remember, this is not your story to tell, Karen. It is her story to tell, but it's also Turtle Boy's story to tell. I mean, when he's writing the book of my journalistic life, when you get to the Karen Reed chapter, it's going to be a massive chapter. Billy gets it. It is his story to tell. And you know what? Jen McAlbert and, the Jen, McCabe and Nicole and Brian Albert and all these people, they have a story to tell too. It's apparently a giant lie, but they're telling their story. Everybody's got a story in here. And I have to say, it's been some of the most fascinating observational work that I've ever had. You know what I mean? Anyway, Steve, let's see where this goes. I honestly think Karen should come on here. I think I'm the person to have a conversation with Karen. I don't think
Yeah.
there's anyone else. I don't think there's anyone else that
I would take that over any fucking YouTuber. I would take that. Sit there on Billy Bush's show. Billy Bush isn't above. He's like, let's fucking talk about this Turtle Boy shit. Let's go. I would love that shit. I would love to see Karen Reed on the Billy Bush show and hear what Karen Reed has to say about the Turtle Boy shit. I'd love to hear that.
that has the right positioning in all of this. So that has to happen.
I agree. That was good though. Turtle Boy stood up for himself though. I mean, he said like, no, this is.
Are you surprised by that?
No. But I just, I think that we can head for a good stage in Boston. You come out, we bring him in.
You know what we lost in this country a long time ago? Nuance. Turtle Boy, if you look at his perspective, yeah, I put you on the map.
And Turtle Boy just said the Wilbur because of the Wilbur, because he already did it. That thing, I feel like you might need a bigger venue. You need a bigger venue than the Wilbur for that.
Beat that drum so loud and used my, skills as a provocateur to let everyone know that you were wronged. And I got up in the face of Michael Morrissey, the Norfolk County DA and Massachusetts State Police. I called Michael Proctor a scumbag, out loud in public. He did. He did all that. And now he's got a case against him. He's got money out of pocket that he's got to deal with. Her support for him, he has every right to feel, not only to want it, but to feel like it's owed to him. And that is a deep-seated thing. That's not going to go away. Right?
Right.
And Karen, her feeling is this guy Cosgrove, the prosecutor that's going after Turtle Boy, if she probably, colludes with him too much, it's going to fire him up to come after her even more. But in the end, isn't the truth the strongest thing we have? If you're standing on the side of the truth, if the truth is with you.
That's right. Absolutely.
I believe that. Our justice system in Massachusetts is broken and it's under the microscope. It's at a point of reckoning. But if the truth is with you, doesn't matter how you get there. So you do what's right. You do what's right. And the truth shall set you free. So
that's exactly how I feel about it. That's exactly how I feel about it. The truth is the common denominator here. If you're trying to find the common denominator in this math problem, that is the Turtle Boy and Karen Reed situation, the truth is the common denominator. And the truth is on both of their sides when it comes to their cases. They are fighting the same enemy. It makes absolutely no sense. And even if they're very different personalities, even if they're very different, they carry themselves differently. One's a little bit more flamboyant than the other, and who cares? Who gives a fuck? That puts on for a better show, as a matter of fact. That could be sold. That these two very different people are fighting a very common enemy because that common enemy has victimized the both of them. Terrorized the both of them. So why not? And at the end of the day, ultimately it's about Karen Reed. At the end of the day, why did Turtle Boy get charged? Because he was getting to the truth about Karen Reed's case. Who put him in jail? The very same people that he was trying to expose as corrupt, who he is in the process about to expose as corrupt. So, I mean, yeah, man. I mean, it makes no logical sense for them to not. Now, maybe on a legal level, it's bad because, you know, there's a civil case, there's multiple civil cases that are about to take place. Some already are. And maybe from a legal perspective that I don't have my head wrapped around because I'm not educated in that field to be able to do that. You know, maybe there's a reason there why it's a bad idea, but I can't see in theory why it's a bad idea. I can't see in theory why these attorneys can't find a way to make that work. Why there can't be some sort of communication and some sort of common ground, even legally speaking, worked out between Turtle Boy's attorneys and Karen Reed's attorneys. So, but anyways, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up, man. I'm going to be back on at 6 p.m., folks. We're going to go through the rest of that Karen Reed intervention. So we will we'll talk about that. We'll watch it and you know, get you guys kind of hyped up for Aiden's stream at 9. So anyways, you guys are awesome. Thanks for watching the hearing, the Kelsey Fitzsimmons hearing with me here. December 19th seems to be where the next hearing is going to be scheduled, and there seems to have been a trial date set for February 1st of 2026 for Kelsey Fitzsimmons. So yeah. But guys, thanks for hanging out with me. I realize more of you are shuffling in now, but I love you very much. Remember, it only takes a second to stay safe, and we will do this again very soon, my friends.
Watch out!
Today, being retarded means leading a full life. Retarded people go to work or school, just like their neighbors, and come back to a real home. A supervised home, right in the neighborhood, where they belong. Being retarded never stopped anyone from being a good neighbor.